Hi, I'm Alan for Old English Outfitters, and today we're going to do a little short review of the brand new Glocks that just recently were released, the G43X and the G48. Okay, folks, well, as you know, Glock has released two new pistols for 2019. Some of the news about them got leaked just a little bit early on the net, but we are fortunate enough that we have gotten some of them in, and we got a chance to shoot them both today. They're the G43X, which is a G43 pistol, top end, but with a longer and just slightly wider 10-round grip frame, 10-round magazine. Really nice pistol. If you're familiar with the G43, this is the same gun basically, with just a little bit added capacity to it. Very nice platform. The other one is the G48. This one. Same frame as the G43X. Same 10-round magazine as the G43X. But it has a slightly longer barrel and slide assembly. This gun is length and height-wise almost identical to a Glock 19 or Glock 23. The difference being it's thinner with that 10-shot magazine capacity and that unique magazine to its frame. Very nice pistol. Both of them shoot really well. We shot them today. We put a few rounds through each one of them. Both of them very shootable, very comfortable guns. The 48, maybe just slightly less recoil than the 43X, but that's to be expected. It's just a little bit longer barrel and slide assembly, so you got a little more weight up front. Either one of them are going to work really well. We've got some Gen 5 features in these guns, and some of the Gen 4 features hold over. The magazine release, as is common to the Gen 4s or Gen 5 guns, is reversible to the other side. Bigger and square too, which is very nice. Same grip texture. Common to the Gen 5 guns, we don't have a finger groove up on the front. You get just a flat front end. One thing we don't have that the Gen 5s have is we don't have a ambidextrous slide lock release lever, which isn't really a big deal for the most part, but they didn't put them on these guns. One of the things that stands out about these two pistols is the silver finish on the slides. It is not stainless steel. It's actually an NPVD, particle vapor deposit film. It's the same type of finish that they put on the Glock 19X, if you're familiar with that. That was the one that was the basis of the military's trial submission pistol. Has that copperish brown colored finish to it. Same chemical composition, just a different color. Very strong, very durable. Another Gen 5 feature that came to these guns, which is really nice, is this slightly radiused front end where they rounded off the front of the slide. That's nice if you're wearing a belt holster that the bottom of the gun comes out of, because you don't have that point there that wears on clothing and things like that. So it's pretty nice. Makes holstering and unholstering maybe just a touch smoother. For the most part, I don't think you're going to notice a big deal there, but it does definitely improve wear where that's going to bear against something like trousers or something like that. If you're familiar with Glocks, one of the really nice things about their weapons is it doesn't matter what caliber they are, what size they are, what model series they are. They all shoot the same, basically. They all take apart the same. It's the same essential system. And that's exactly what we have here. Same essential Glock system that we've had ever since the pistol was first introduced. Very nice. They're comfortable, they're accurate, they're reliable, all the things that you want in a fighting or defensive pistol. These guns, these two that we have here, have the standard Glock pattern plastic sights with the outline rear and the dot front. You can get night sights for these things, of course, and options will be night sights from the factory, and there's tons of night sight options you can put on them. The 48, if you'll notice, has a hole in the bottom of the dust cover here. The purpose of that, in case you're not familiar with it, and the other longer slide Glocks have the same thing if it comes out past the frame. To change that front sight, there's a little screw that goes up in there, so this gives you access to get your tool down in there to do that, to take that screw out. With something that just comes to the end of the grip frame, you don't need it because the whole front of the slide's open on the bottom. These guns have just a little bit of a beaver tail back here on the back. Not huge, but a little bit. That's particularly helpful to people who have really big hands, so that when you're when you've got the gun in your hand, sometimes people with really big hands, their hand will come up and that slide will track them a little bit. That kind of helps prevent that. In shooting these guns, either one of them are very comfortable. They're accurate. They work really well. The grip feels good. It really does. Now, anytime you've got something bigger, like you have with a bigger grip in this pistol, is it going to be harder to conceal? Well, maybe a little bit. I don't think it's a big deal. I think they've done a very nice job of balancing size and shootability in these guns. This thing is just a little more comfortable maybe than a standard 43 to shoot. Now, some of that's subjective, obviously. Some people might not think that. Others people might think it's even more so. Very subjective. Depends on the individual. I personally kind of like the way that feels. Thought it felt pretty good. Thought it shot really good. On the magazine, the magazine holds 10 rounds, and it's the same magazine profile for either one of these guns, and it is unique to these two. This magazine will not fit in a standard 43. It's just a little bit wider. Not just longer, just a little bit wider. We tried it in a Blackhawk hardshell magazine carrier for a single stack mag. Won't fit. It's just big enough that it's not going to fit in there. So you might have to go with custom-made Kydex carriers specifically for this, or something soft, leather, nylon, that's got a little more flexibility to it. It's not big enough for a double magazine carrier, like the Blackhawk hardshell one. It just kind of floats around in there. So it's going to require kind of its own magazine carrier to carry spare mags for that. 2 Gen 5 features that are on this. It has the orange magazine follower, which is kind of nice. It makes it a little more visible when the gun lock's open, but also when you're loading it, you'll be able to see the orange follower in the holes so you can tell how far down you are in case you're talking and you forget how many you put in. We've never done that before. It also has, a Gen 5 feature is the base plate on the mag is just a little bit longer and beveled in the front. They're good features. They work well. We mentioned that Glock Systems are Glock System. They all work the same. When it comes to taking these things apart and maintaining them, they're the same as any other Glock. Some of you are extremely familiar with this. If you're not, a little quick review. Got to make sure it's empty and safe. That is a rule that applies to any firearm. If you're going to maintain it, take it apart, doesn't matter what it is, rifle, shotgun, pistol, doesn't matter what it is. Got to make sure it's empty and safe first. Once you've done that, on the Glock System, you point it in a safe direction and you pull the trigger. Because we got to have the trigger in the back of the trigger guard to take it apart. Easiest way to do this, grab it by the tang, put your thumb right underneath the tang, reach over the top of the slide, and all you have to do is back that slide up just a little bit. Not far enough to reset the trigger. The takedown lever right there, it's on both sides. It goes all the way through the frame. Put your thumb on one side, put your forefinger on the other side, pull it down, hold it down, let the slide come forward, and it'll come right off the gun. Recoil spring and guide and barrel, and there you go. You got frame, recoil spring and guide, barrel, slide. That's all you need. Don't ever have to take it any further apart than that to maintain it. This actually, you can see this really well here. I'm going to show this. There's copper colored stuff in here that at first glance, if you're not familiar with it, might look like rust. It's actually a break-in grease that Glock puts in their guns, all their guns from the factory. Leave it in there, shoot it. Shoot a whole bunch of rounds so it's not going to hurt it. It helps break the gun in. It's something they put in there for that specific purpose. Reassembly, easy. Barrel back in, recoil spring and guide back in. Make sure that's centered. Put the slide rails, mate those to the frame rails on the frame. And slide the frame back on. All the way back. And we're back in business. And we always function check, right? How do you do that with a Glock? Make sure it cycles fully. Make sure the trigger comes out. Safe direction. Make sure the trigger works. Okay? Easy. Excellent system. Always has been. These are just the 2 newest additions to it. They're going to appeal. They're going to appeal to people who like the 43, but maybe needed a little bit bigger grip. Sometimes some of the really small guns, they're too small. They're going to like that. The extra capacity is nice. This gun, the 48, is going to appeal to people who want something that's a little bigger, maybe just a notch more shootable, but not huge. Sometimes you got really small hands. The double stack Glocks, like the 19s and the 17s and those, are just too big. So if that's the case, this gun's going to feel pretty good to you, because by not being so thick, you got a little more purchase around it. It really is a good size. It's also going to appeal to people, either one of these will, if you happen to live in or work in or have to go to a jurisdiction where 10-round magazines are all you're allowed to have. You're not allowed to have bigger magazines. It makes a little bit of sense to carry something smaller, lighter with 10 rounds in it, as opposed to, say, a Glock 19 that has a 15-round magazine that you either only carry 10 in or you have a 10-round mag in. It's a little smaller platform, so it helps. We have these guns. We have got them in stock. They are ready to sell. We've already sold a few of them, and we'd like to sell some more of them. They're $449.99 each. So the Glock 43, the standard 43, that's the price of it. That's what these guns are. So no big price increase with either one of these. That's a nice deal. We got them in stock. They're ready to sell. We have a good stock of Glock products, period. We generally try to keep a pretty good variety of them. So if you like Glock pistols, we're a good place to come to take a look. You want to come handle them? Come handle them, look at them, try them out. We're happy to oblige. That's about it. That's what I think what we can say about these guns. They're excellent. I think you're going to be favorably impressed with them. If you like this, let us know. We're on YouTube and Twitter. Let us know. Comment. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you didn't like. If there's something that you'd like to see, let us know. We'd like to improve and do better if we can. That's about all I have to say for now. Come see us here at Old English Outfitters. I'm Alan. Thanks for watching.